Our daughter has passed away.
My mother conveyed this message in a somber voice over the phone from my husband. My husband replied,
"What? Mia?"
My mother responded,
What are you pretending not to know? She is my daughter and your wife.
"What?"
I could tell from his voice over the phone that my husband was flustered. His actions towards me were too cruel. Now is the time for him to receive his punishment. My name is Olivia. I am a 35-year-old housewife. I was raised with my younger sister, who is 3 years younger than me, under the care of my father, who is a bus driver, and my mother, who is a housewife. My father is always kind, and my mother has a gentle personality, so our family gets along well. My sister, who is reliable, is still single and focused on her work. My husband Michael and I had a workplace romance. He is tall, handsome, and kind. He was very popular in the office. I, who was plain and shy, fell for him quickly after receiving his aggressive approach. According to him, he prefers people with good personalities rather than glamorous people. We got married soon after, and I became a housewife to support my husband. We were blessed with a daughter named Mia soon after. With the financial support of my parents, we were able to build our dream home. I should have been at the height of happiness. Until I found out about my husband's true nature. Since my daughter was born, my husband's attitude has gradually become arrogant. First, he stopped calling me by my name. Whenever he had something to say, he would call me.
"Hey."
After giving birth, I struggled to lose weight, and my husband would say things like,
"Aren't you ashamed of your body shape? You look like a fat ant."
He would make fun of me by calling me
"Fat ant."
every now and then. Around this time, my husband started coming home late at night or early in the morning, and his suit started smelling like perfume. I have complained to my husband once that I also find child rearing difficult. I told him to stay with our daughter instead of going out drinking every day. Then, my husband suddenly got angry and threw a chair at me. He shouted,
"I'm not drinking because I like it. It's for work. Work. Why don't you understand that? You're fat. Ugly. You're the one who's having fun repeating the same thing every day at home with child rearing, aren't you? Try working outside."
After that, I became afraid of angering my husband and couldn't say anything. At the same time, the monthly living expenses he gave me were reduced to only $150. My husband's catchphrase became,
"You're a bored housewife, so make do with $150.
I managed to scrape by using up my savings from when I was single. Since the monthly living expenses were reduced to $150, my life became more and more difficult. However, when I thought about my young daughter, I couldn't bring myself to leave. Even so, it's a fact that I couldn't keep living like that. I secretly started working from home using my design skills from my previous job, and before I knew it, I was earning the same salary as my husband. With the money problem solved, I felt like I could work a little harder, and several years have passed since then. On a certain holiday when Mia turned 3 years old, my husband's cell phone rang while he was taking a shower. It was rare for him to leave it out on the desk. I ignored it, but it didn't stop ringing, so I peeked inside and saw a woman's name. I realized my husband was seeing someone else. When my husband got out of the shower, I said to him with a straight face, "Your phone was ringing." I could tell from his expression that his face had changed. My husband asked,
"Did you look at my phone?"
I replied, trembling, "No, I didn't." My husband went into the bedroom with a sullen expression. I unconsciously shed tears. But I couldn't leave it at that. I started secretly recording conversations with my husband using an IC recorder from around this time. I also hired a private detective and obtained irrefutable evidence of his infidelity. When my daughter turned 5, an event occurred that would be the final straw. I never thought my husband was such a cold-hearted person. Even now, it's terrifying to think about. First, the days when he doesn't come home have increased. He always says he's on a business trip, but I knew right away that there was no such thing as a business trip in his department, having worked at the same company. What an insult. I've grown tired of him lying so blatantly and going to see his mistress, and I'm seriously considering divorce. On that morning too, my husband said as he walked down the stairs.
I suddenly have a business trip today.
My husband said with a lot of sarcasm.
There's no point in going home if there's only going to be tasteless food. I might as well eat something delicious once in a while.
I finally lost my temper with him. Huh? Don't be ridiculous. What do you mean by tasteless food? I make dinner every day that I hardly ever get to eat. And where are you going when you say you're on a business trip? I have evidence. At that moment, my husband, who had become furious, my husband pushed me away.
Don't speak like you know, though you don't know anything.
My husband looked down at me as I lay on the floor, and said,
Ha! You're a disgusting fatty. Serves you right.
Before quickly leaving the house. I hit my head hard on the floor and gradually lost consciousness. When I came to, I was lying on a hospital bed. My daughter and parents were looking at me with worried expressions.
Mom, are you okay?
My daughter asked. Mia. Did you help me? Ouch. I tried to get up in a hurry, but pain shot through my entire body. However, miraculously, the injury was not serious, and I was able to be discharged on the same day.
Yeah. I called Dad and said, Mom got hurt. Please come home, but Dad said, I can't because of work, so I called Grandma.
My daughter continued.
So I called an ambulance. I was really surprised. What happened?
I asked the nurse to take my daughter out of the hospital room and told my parents about the many atrocities my husband had committed. The two of them listened solemnly, and then,
come back home. And make sure he pays for what he's done. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
I decided to put an end to this marriage. Of course, after the appropriate settlement. Our family held a meeting on the spot and decided to launch a big show to counterattack my husband. The next day, my husband called my cell phone. When my mother answered the phone, she said in a depressed voice,
My daughter has passed away.
The phone was in speaker mode, and of course it was being recorded.
Ha! My daughter, Mia.
What are you talking about? She's my daughter, your wife.
What?
My husband exclaimed, sounding flustered even over the phone.
It seems like she fell and hit her head hard on the floor. Do you have any idea what happened?
What? No, I don't.
Then, in a fake tearful voice, my husband said,
She was fine this morning, saying, see you later. Why did this happen all of a sudden?
Liar. I suppressed the urge to scream at him. You're the one who pushed me.
More importantly, where are you now?
My mother asked, her voice full of anger.
I'm on a business trip right now. It'll take me half a day to get home.
Come home right away. I'm taking my daughter and going back to our house right now.
My mother said before hanging up the phone. We hurried home, and I quickly prepared evidence of my husband's infidelity and a voice recorder, and consulted with a lawyer. When I checked our bank accounts and life insurance policies, I confirmed that my husband had not done anything yet. In preparation for the showdown with my husband, I evacuated my daughter to my sister's house and waited for my husband's return with my parents. After a while, my husband returned home. I was stunned. Who is that? He had returned home with a woman. My husband was speechless when he realized that I, who he had been told was dead, was alive.
Huh? Why are you here?
More importantly, who is that person?
You tricked me.
My husband's voice was turned upside down. Not as much as you did. So, who is that person?
Your mother said she would bring you to their house. Wasn't this your parents' house?
This is my house. Never mind that. Who is that person?
No, it's not like that. This person is a business associate.
Just as my husband was about to say something, I lined up the cheating photos I had obtained through a private detective on the desk. According to my investigation, that person looks like the woman in these photos.
Huh? It's probably a composite photo or something, right?
Look at the date in the photo. In my diary, I wrote, "My husband is on a business trip." When I called the company, they said he was on paid vacation. It's easy to find out if it's really paid vacation or not. Who was lying? And why is she here today?
Huh? So that's because of business.
Just as my husband was about to say something, the woman interrupted.
I'm Sophia. I'm dating Michael with the intention of getting married. You're his sister, right? Are you alive?
I'm not his sister. I'm Michael's wife. When I answered in surprise, she also said in a surprised voice.
I heard he is living with his sister.
What? What are you talking about? When I glared at my husband with a devilish look, he suddenly began to look frightened. However, even at this point, my husband made a clumsy counterattack.
Wait, there's a reason for this. Even though I said we were dating, she's just a customer. I'll talk to you later.
At this point, the woman seemed to understand the situation and began to press my husband hard.
Michael, didn't you say your sister was dead? And you have a wife? What's going on here?
My husband stammered.
Huh? So, I was tricked.
The one who was tricked was me. You've been cheating on me for years. And to top it off, you pushed me and caused me to get hurt.
What? You did that to your wife? That means it could happen to me too.
The woman said, looking half disgusted.
That's not true. I love you.
So that means you admit to cheating. I countered.
That's not what I meant.
This is what they call a shambles in the world. I calmed down. Both parents were even calmer and sent cold glares to my husband. There is not even a micron of love left for him. It's a divorce. I pushed him away with one word. The affair partner said,
We'll break up.
She also cut him off with one word. Just pushing me is a serious crime. Moreover, there is evidence of infidelity, so be prepared for a considerable amount of compensation. When I said that, the affair partner also got angry and said,
You were a married man. I really despise you. You deceived me. Give me back my time. I demand an apology from you that is equivalent to that.
Then my husband turned around and said,
Did you have any evidence that I knocked you down? It was your own careless mistake, wasn't it?
I took out an IC recorder here. It was recorded with the vivid sound of the conversation between my husband and me, and the sound of me being pushed. Other past remarks that insulted me are also recorded perfectly in this. You can't escape anymore. Then she added,
I have evidence that I met you at a matchmaking party and you referred to your wife as your older sister on Telegram.
My husband, who could not make excuses, finally turned around.
Shut up. Fatty. If you were gone, I was going to be with her with your life insurance. She is the daughter of a senior executive of a trading partner. If we get married, my promotion is guaranteed. It's all your fault that it turned out like this.
My husband threw everything he could at me and tried to grab me. At that time, my father quickly strangled my husband. My father, who was a bus driver, had mastered judo in case of emergency. Then, when my husband became unable to move, she gave him a round-trip slap. The affair partner said,
This is mine. And this is for your wife.
She kicked him hard in the crotch once more. My husband groaned.
Ouch.
I quietly said to him as he writhed in agony. It's about the life insurance. Just in case, I've made my father and mother the beneficiaries. You won't get any money anyway. By the way, do you remember who owns this house? It's in my parents' name because they paid for it. Got it? Now get out of here. Furthermore, the other woman added insult to injury.
I see. You only dated me because I'm the daughter of a high-ranking executive. It's too bad things didn't go your way, isn't it?
In the end, I divorced my husband and received all the compensation I was entitled to. Of course, I kicked him out of the house and moved in with my parents instead. Since I was at it, I decided to renovate the house. Afterwards, my husband's affair with his mistress was exposed at work. Since she was the daughter of an important business partner, her parents were furious. My husband and his mistress broke up, and he divorced me. He was also demoted at work for obvious reasons. He had trouble getting along with his colleagues even after being transferred to another department, so he ended up quitting his job. His mistress also demanded compensation, which depleted his retirement savings. He is currently looking for a new job. The mistress, who knew nothing about the situation, eventually came to me with her parents' apology and compensation. By the way, she got married to a genuine bachelor she met through a matchmaking service soon after. Although I felt sorry for her when she tearfully apologized to me, even though she wasn't at fault, I was relieved to hear that she was able to get married. As for me, my design work from home was going well, and I was able to start my own company. At first, it was a small company with only a few employees, but thanks to the senior members who got along well, the business grew steadily. Recently, the number of employees has increased significantly, and we plan to buy a building near the station next year to literally expand the company. As for my daughter, she didn't feel lonely at all after her father left. Rather, she has a strong sense of resentment towards the person who didn't come to help when her mother was injured, and she doesn't want to see her father at all. In fact, it seems that she has grown up freely and happily since the quarrels between her parents disappeared from the house. Recently, my ex-husband sent me a message.
How are you? I'm fighting with myself right now. I can reflect on myself. Let's work hard together again. You're probably getting lonely anyway. I don't mind getting back together. I love you.
Since it was a creepy message, I ignored it. However, he kept sending me the same kind of message over and over again, so I replied. I'll consult with my lawyer again. What are you talking about now? If you're going to fight, you should have fought earlier. I thought to myself. I never thought that my husband would be in such a situation that would be described as reaping what he sowed. The other day, I invited my parents and sister on a family trip to express my gratitude for them. I was able to relax in the nice hotel and gain both economic stability and peace of mind. I thought to myself, I'm happy now.
Mom, I want a cat.
My daughter said while eating at the hotel where we were staying. That's a great idea. Let's go find Mia a partner next time. I replied.
Cats are something we all love. What kind of cat do you want?
My mother asked. A few days after this conversation, a new member joined our family, a kitten named Minnie. She is a small, cute, and mischievous kitten.
Minnie, over here, over here.
My daughter's energetic voice calling Minnie can be heard even today. Finally, my sister got married to a kind and elite businessman. She is also pregnant, so our house will become even more lively in the future. My parents, my daughter, Minnie, and I never run out of things to talk about. I hope these happy days will continue for a long time.
How was this story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.